Hello, everyone. My name is Danielle Celine, or Mrs. S, as the students call me, in case you don't know who I am. And I'm the librarian here at Fictional Middle School. I am here today to talk to you about this book, Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy by Ray Terciero, who also goes by the name Rex Ogle, and Bree Indigo. Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy is a realistic fiction graphic novel that is a modernized retelling of the well-known classic Little Women, written by Louisa May Alcott. Terciero and Indigo include all the favorite characters from the original novel it is based on, including Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy, also known as the March Sisters, Mom and Dad March, an older aunt who Joe works for, and beloved neighbor Laurie and his grandfather. In this version, the March family is a blended interracial family, as you can see from the cover. Dad Robert and sister Meg are African American. Mom Madison and sister Joe are Caucasian. These two families meet when the girls are young, and together the parents have Beth and then Amy not long after getting married. The March sisters, who live in Brooklyn, New York, are struggling as their dad is overseas in the Middle East fighting for our country, and their mom is working overtime to try to make ends meet and provide for their family. Each sister has her own personality and passion or hobby, all of which reflect the original novel while having a more modernized feel. Oldest sister Meg is concerned with money, adulthood, and relationships. Joe is a very headstrong character with a passion for writing and women's rights. Beth is the sweet, quiet sister who loves music, and youngest sister Amy is a loud, determined girl who loves art. Terciero and Indigo do a great job of honoring Alcott's original characters while putting a modern, relatable twist on them. They explore topics such as the interracial blended family previously mentioned, the inclusion of some LGBTQIA+ characters, discussions about women's rights, and discussions about racial equality. Each sister goes through her own struggles and must find herself and her way. But at the end of the day, all each of them really needs is her sisters to lean on for support. I absolutely love this book because it takes the classic story of sisterhood that I fell in love with as a child and makes it more relatable to today's readers. Even those readers who have never heard of Little Women are sure to find some way to connect with this book. The format of graphic novel makes it even more fun to read, and everyone involved with the illustrations did such a great job of ensuring they reflect the story in an authentic way. One of my favorite parts of this book is the snippets of emails and journal entries from the girls sprinkled throughout the novel. These pieces of writing really allow the reader to understand each of the March sisters a little better, allowing them to make an emotional connection with the characters. Why am I telling you about this book? It is on our shelves here at the school library, and the English Language Arts Department is considering it for a novel study. One thing to take note of is that this book has been recently challenged. In 2021, patrons of the Lincoln Parish Library in Ruston, Louisiana, which is not too far from here, issued a complaint dealing with this book and several others. Those who complained about the books did so on the basis of their LGBTQIA+ content and the books being on the shelves in the children's section. The complainant stated that they were concerned this book was in the children's section of the library and that children could come across this book and the LGBTQIA+ topic even if their parents did not want them to. Initially, at a meeting with a non-quorum board, the decision was made to remove the book, along with the others involved in this challenge, from open shelves and allow them only to be checked out by parental request. Later on, however, the board saw the error of its ways and decided to uphold its policies against censorship, which then placed Meg, Joe, Beth, and Amy and the other titles involved in the challenge back on the children's collection shelves where they were initially. As a librarian and information expert, it is my responsibility to ensure that our students receive open access to a variety of materials and that none be excluded based on the content within. The American Library Association, or ALA, is the organization that most libraries and librarians look to for guidance in situations like these. The ALA provides guidance and leadership to all librarians and information professionals and informs information professionals on how to deal with challenges and potential censorship. The ALA strongly condemns the idea and use of censorship and believes in protecting the intellectual freedom of all people, including their access to diverse viewpoints in literature and information. As stated on the ALA website, intellectual freedom gives people the right to think for themselves. It respects individual dignity and self-rule. This freedom allows people to form their own ideas and opinions by questioning the world around them. Every person has the right to access information from all points of view, in all formats, and without restriction. Essentially, intellectual freedom is part of protecting people's First Amendment rights to freedom of speech and expression. All people, regardless of age or any other defining characteristic, have the right to read books that show and represent the world in which they live. This allows them to learn about diverse perspectives and challenges them to think critically about the world around them. The ALA also has several other guidelines regarding potential challenges in censorship, including its Freedom to Read statement. The Article 1 from the Freedom to Read statement states, "It is in the public interest for publishers and librarians to make available the widest diversity of views and expressions, including those that are unorthodox, unpopular, or considered dangerous by the majority." This means that librarians and libraries are to provide books and information from as many different viewpoints and experiences as possible. It is not our job to determine if a certain resource should be kept away from individuals, but rather it is our job to provide resources representing people from all walks of life and allow that material to be available to everyone. Articles 1 through 3 of the ALA Library Bill of Rights also discuss the idea of ensuring all persons have the right to all types of information and materials, and that librarians and those in charge of the libraries should not let their own personal feelings and beliefs interfere with providing such information to the people it serves. As a school librarian, I adhere to and uphold the American Association of School Librarians, or AASL, National School Library Standards. The AASL is a division of the ALA that guides school librarians and ensures they are teaching the shared foundations of the library to students. The 6 foundations are inquire, include, collaborate, curate, explore, and engage. As you can see here in the shared foundation of include, under the topic grow, it states that learners seek opportunities to learn about others' differing experiences and opinions. How can we as educators and I as your school librarian create opportunities for this to happen if I do not include books in my collection that have diversity in them? As I mentioned earlier, I've recently been approached by our English Language Arts department who is interested in doing a novel study with this book. My professional take is that this book would be an excellent novel study. It has an overwhelming amount of educational value. This novel provides readers with modern, relatable issues and realistic examples of ways these fictional characters solve these problems. Students reading this novel will connect with or empathize with any number of topics in this book, including having an interracial family, how people treat racial minorities, living in poverty or low income, struggling with being LGBTQIA+ and coming out, and having family fighting in the military. This book has a wealth of love, knowledge, and positivity that show readers they are not alone, no matter what they are going through. It is a great way to show students different perspectives and allow them to empathize with situations they may not understand otherwise. And it is a great choice for a novel study at this school. Will there be potential issues with the use of this novel? Probably. However, I will share with you this presentation, giving you access to the ALA resources and websites that can help you if that need arises. On top of that, I am available to answer any and all questions you, parents, or other concerned people may have about this novel and its use in the classroom. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns, or if you come across any adults who appear to question the use of this novel in the classroom. LGBTQIA+ people and people from diverse backgrounds deserve to see themselves represented in stories. This novel does that in a way that feels authentic and organic, and readers will gain so much insight into the struggles of others by reading this book. Keep in mind that we have students at our school whose family members, or even they themselves, are a part of the LGBTQIA plus family. We are also a racially diverse school. How we react to the topics in this book and how we respond to those with negative reactions speaks volumes to our students. Our goal as educators is to guide students and teach them about life and the things they will need to help them be productive, successful, kind citizens. We cannot do that if we close our students off from learning about different races, cultures, or identities, or if we react negatively when those topics come up in books or in conversations. It is my firm belief as an information professional that this book can help us meet those objectives, and I wholeheartedly agree with the decision to make this book a novel study. As I mentioned earlier, here is my contact information and the links to the resources used in creating this presentation. I will be sharing this slide stack with you all via email this afternoon so that you can have these resources to look at further for yourself, and or in the event you need them for this novel study or any other book you may wish to explore in your classrooms. I'd like to leave you with this quote from the novel. This is part of one of those journal entries I mentioned earlier and really gets to the heart of why our students deserve to hear this story. A portion of this entry reads, "This is the world we live in, one in which not all men and women are created equal. People are still prejudiced against others, whether for the color of their skin, the shape of their bodies, the beliefs in their gods, or the love in their hearts. Why can't everyone just accept everyone for who they are?" That is the heart of what we want to teach our students, and everyone deserves to feel loved and accepted for who they are. If this book can do that and help in any way, in the way I believe it can, we are doing our part to create a better world and a better tomorrow for these students.